Hey, so here we are, tutorial 2. Goal of this tutorial is we're going to create a story game and load it in Story World. So you're going to actually go from something we're creating in StoryStylus to seeing it live and running in Story Worlds. So that gives you like a base, good start of how you get started in StoryStylus and how you sort of get your basic first game going. So let's get started. So when you log into StoryStylus, you're going to see the project screen, and it's very empty because we haven't created a project yet. So of the buttons you sort of see in the top here, one is Create New. So let's create a new project. And you only have the option really to build stories at this time. And let's call this one Touch the Darkness. This will become apparent as we go through some of the media files I'm going to be uploading. And whenever you have a new story, you pick what is your setting. Now, we're going to have lots more settings as we go along, but for now, I want a custom setting blank and in a modern time period. This will add as we go along. You'll have like all kinds of maps and existing settings for which you can create your stories, but for now we're just getting started. So the custom setting blank is probably what you're going to use in most cases these days for starting your story. And then you click done, and that will create your story, and there we are. So we're all set, and I'm going to go in and start to edit this now. We'll do that together here. Okay, I'm good. Don't show me any more help. That's fine. Okay, so here we are in the story info for our new story. So it's a lot more blank than what we saw with Hard Vacuum Lullaby. Let's just type a few things in here. Touch the dark is a dark fantasy story game. Okay, and you'll see here that, and I'm going to save that. There's no real pictures to choose from because we haven't uploaded any media yet. This is where the title, your story graphic, would appear. And I don't have any location. So the goal, because I haven't entered anything in, so the goal here is to get enough data into your story that you can see it and load it within StoryStylus. So the main areas where we're going to need to add stuff is we need a starting location. The custom setting name is an essential, but I'll call Malafantasia as a nod to one of my favorite stories there, never ending as it is. We want to upload some graphics here. We need a starting location, and we're also going to need an introduction. But that's really easy. You just press the green button here to add your new introduction. So you can name your introduction here. Welcome to Darkness. All kinds of typos today. You are unable to escape. Obviously, I'm just moving as fast as I can here just to sort of show you sort of how stuff works. But, okay, so now we have an introduction that we can select. You can actually have more than one introduction. We'll get into that in actually the next tutorial. But for now, we have an introduction. We have a setting name. We still could use some graphics, and we could use a starting location. Once you have those things in place, you're pretty much ready to load up the game in Story Worlds. So let's upload some media. I'm going to go over to the media editor, and we'll upload a map and a new story title, just like I showed you in the last tutorial. So I'm just going to, I have some art here that I've already got ready to go. We'll give some artist attribution here in a second. So that's a pretty big map file, but it's a map. You're probably going to accept that as it is, and then you can sort of see what I'm going to use as my starting title. You can see the Touch the Darkness aspect there. I'm going to accept both of these and go OK, and that will upload them into the system. And now we'll skip ahead to where the files are magically in. Okay, so now we've got our two files uploaded here. There's Touch the Darkness, that's going to be our cover. And then we've got this wonderful map here. Yeah, that's great. This looks really good. So let me zoom that out. Okay, so I'm going to give some attributions to these two images because, I've gotten them from somewhere else. First of all, let me just show you here. Here is where I got the map from Herman Weilink. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I've spoken to him before on some of his other maps, and you can see his wonderful catalog down here, and there's his city map right there. So I want to give credit to Herwin, and I'm going to link to his portfolio whenever somebody sees that in the game. So I'm going to say, so the text is going to be city map Herman, and I'm going to link to his portfolio like so. And I'll save that. So now when somebody sees that image, they're going to get that attribution information, and I can link directly to that, to his webpage, to his portfolio, which is kind of cool. And I'm going to catalog that as a map, because we're going to use that as a city map for our locations and stuff like that. And let me add it as a location for now. That'll make sense sort of in a little bit here. But okay, so now for this particular image, this from sort of a wallpaper site. It's called Touch the Darkness, oddly enough. And this was uploaded by Silent Hill 79. And it's a great image. And I just want to give credit to Silent Hill 79. I hope he or she didn't take it from something else, but give credit where credit's due anyways. So let's see. Okay, so Touch the Darkness. Let's get rid of that tab there. And here's a link to that page at the very least. We've at least now tried to give attribution where attribution is due. And I am going to use this as a story title. So now, back in our story info page, I can now select this as a graphic for the title of our story. And then with this image, I can use this to place a whole bunch of locations on, and that will allow us to get into the game. So we'll switch back. Let's go to world building first. We'll use this as a map for now. So this is a whole tutorial in itself, actually several. For now, I'm just going to blast through this. This is going to be Mala Fantasia. I guess it's a city. And there is my map. And I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to use this as my new city map. Okay, so there we go. So now I can begin placing locations on this city map. So yeah, just love the detail on that. Okay, so I'm going to go over to the location grid here. I'm going to add a location. This kind of looks like a palace here. So Dark Palace. And I'm going to put it right about here. Whoops. And I won't worry about adding anything else right now. This is just to sort of get us going here. So Dark Palace, let's add another look. This looks like a dark temple, so we'll add that as Dark Temple. That looks good. Okay. So there's Dark Temple, and over here this looks like a marketplace or something like that. So because everything is evil in Malephantasia. Marketplace. Okay. So we have our Dark Palace up here, we've got our Dark Temple here, and Evil Marketplace over here. I'm just going to recenter those just to sort of put them bang on. And let's put that Dark Palace right in here. Okay, so I now have Dark Palace, I've got the Dark Temple over here, and my marketplace. And then you can fill in all the details, but again, we're just doing this as fast as we can. So I'm going to have us start in the Evil Marketplace, and then you have to go exploring to find out what evil things are in Malephantasia. So go back to the story info. So now we can start to hook up our starting location. We'll start in the Evil Marketplace, and we now have a title. There we go. So now I have everything I need to be able to see this in-game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up story worlds, and you'll be able to see and be able to load up the game. You'll see the introduction, and then you can begin clicking away at objects on the map. And that gives us a good first start. Okay, and here we are in story worlds through all the loading screens, and you'll see that I don't initially see our story, but if I go to the second page here, there we are, Touch the Darkness. It's ready to be played, so we can click on that. You see our Malephantasia there again. And here is the attribution I was showing you about. So let me go to the full-size image. And if you click down here, you can see that it gives reference to Silent Hill. And if I click on that, again, it brings up the link right to their portfolio or their website. So that's a great way for your artists to get promoted, or just to give credit where credit's due in your games. Okay, so now I'm going to play the story. We haven't created any avatars, so you have sort of the default characters here. So I'm just going to play with default for now. Ha ha ha. And let's see what loads up. And here we go. Welcome to the darkness. We are our introduction, and so it's a pretty simple introduction, but I go to the story. There's our world. There's our city map. We are in the Evil Marketplace, and we can go explore the Dark Temple or the Dark Palace, whatever you prefer from here. And I can zoom right in here, and you can see sort of the really cool detail on those buildings. So there you go. That's how easy it is in StoryStylus to begin creating your stories and building your worlds. And now you can start filling this with characters or adding more locations, or, it's really up to you wherever your stories take you. But that's how easy it is. We were able to create a game in, 10, 15 minutes. So for now, that ends this tutorial. Next tutorial we'll go on and talk about introductions and having multiple introductions. For now, this is just very simple, but let's do some more dynamic stuff with that. All right.